Welcome to Let's Talk About Health, powered by Focus on Diabetes. Focus on Diabetes partners with accredited doctors to share education and new treatment options, world class healthcare organizations to introduce new technologies and free screenings for diabetic patients, their family, and the community. Now, let's talk about health.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk About Health. Today we have Anthony and his family on. Anthony is a 14-year-old passionate athlete who loves trying new sports and pushing himself to grow on and off the field. 5 years ago, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a life changing moment that has only made him stronger and more determined. His courage and resilience have inspired all of us. Todd is deeply involved in coaching youth sports and takes pride in being a mentor and positive role model for kids in our community. Whether it's on the field or in everyday life, he believes in leading by example and helping young athletes build confidence and character. Krystyna, I do believe, if I'm not pronouncing that right, we'll find out for sure, is his mom. She's the heart of the family, full of energy, always on the go and grounded, deeply committed to the well-being of those around her. So everybody, let's welcome Anthony and his family to Let's Talk About Health.
Hey guys.
So
Hello.
everybody, let's welcome Anthony and his family to Let's Talk About Health. All right, Hendricks family. If everybody want to kind of give us a little bit more information about each other.
Yeah, we'll
Everybody want to
start
kind
with
of
the
give us a little
superstar.
bit more information about each other.
Um, well, my name's Anthony. I play football and lacrosse. I sustained 3 knee dislocations and just had knee surgery on June 20th. Fighting in PT to come back to lacrosse for winter. Um, and I've had diabetes for almost 6 years now. And yeah.
So,
Okay, and mom, I might have mispronounced your name, but let me make sure. Is it
It's
Christine?
Krystyna.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, and mom, I might have mispronounced your name, but let me make sure. Is it Christine? Okay, perfect.
honey, go ahead.
Oh, so I'm Krystyna. I'm Anthony's mom. Sorry. I don't know, like the navigation of type 1 is, an everyday challenge. Things that we bolus for the day before works, but, when we bolus for the same amount of things, it doesn't work. So it's just an everyday challenge for us that we as a family and we work together on.
Okay, Dad, it's your turn.
I was just waiting because you did such a beautiful job introducing her. So, yeah, Todd Hendricks, Anthony's dad. I've also been his head coach in sports, well, since he's been playing them, but specifically since he's been diagnosed. So that's always a bit of a extra battle, but I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more. Super proud of my son. You can see, I don't know if you see, he's wearing an ambassador shirt.
Of
Um,
course.
so that's for JDRF, which is now Breakthrough. He's an ambassador, so he goes and speaks to different companies and other kids. He works at events. He was even in the mascot outfit this year, taking pictures with kids. Does really well with that. He's an excellent fundraiser as well. So not only has he had to go through this disease and help it navigate life, but he's not only taken that on, but he's taken on charge of helping other kids and helping to find a cure. So I'm really, really proud of him for that.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna start it off here. So Anthony or mom and dad, how did you guys get to the point of um him being diagnosed with type 1? Was he sick or just like a regular, normal, routine check?
Could you repeat that, please?
No, we got it. We got it.
My bad, my bad. So we actually initially thought Anthony had a UTI. He was wetting his bed pretty regularly and pretty heavily, and
We brought him into his pediatrician for a check, and our pediatrician said, like, "Hey, Anthony's fine. You know, he's growing, he's gaining weight. There's no issues. It's just his body. He's just not like the hormones are just not mature enough. You know, make sure you wake him up several times during the night. You know, limit his fluid intake." And Todd, had said to the pediatrician, he's like, "Hey, my dad is type 2. My wife's dad is type 2. Can you just check Anthony's urine to see if he is diabetic?" And the pediatrician was just like, there's no way. There's no way he's not losing weight. He's healthy. You know, Anthony's nickname as a kid was Moose because he was just like this stocky young kid. Mm-hmm. And the pediatrician just said, "You know what? Let's have him pee in a cup, and we'll check."
I insisted.
Yeah.
I really don't
Which
care.
sometimes you have to do because sometimes they'll, providers will be like, "Oh, brush it off. You may be overthinking it," but sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, so that insist on it. He went and checked the test, and I've never seen a doctor return to a room so close, so fast. Like he was back immediately.
And then he said, "You know what? You have to go down the hallway and get labs done." And Todd had said to him, "Hey, we've been here for several hours. Anthony's hungry. We'll come back and do it." And he said, No, you need to do this right now." We went and we had labs done, and then we were hungry, so we went for a late lunch. And
we went to Popeyes.
Really bad food.
After thinking of a diagnosis like this, you went to Popeyes.
We had no idea.
We were positive he was good.
We had no idea. No idea. And so we got a call, and they said, "Where are you?" And we told them our where we were, and they said, "There's nurses and doctors that are waiting for him at Huntley at Western Hospital. You need to get him there immediately. You need to start an insulin drip for him because he was very close to DKA." So we were. We had no idea. We had no idea what type 1 was. We had no idea what our life would look like at that point.
And so went to Huntley Hospital. They couldn't help him at all because they didn't have a pediatric. Wound up taking an ambulance a couple hours in a blizzard down to Lori's. Yeah, and then found out after we got down there, it was me and Anthony in the ambulance. It was the poor lady's first day driving that ambulance in a blizzard.
In a blizzard.
I'm so thankful for her, but terrified for her at the same time. But anyway, we got down to Lori's. We started to learn how to count carbs and dive deep into the type 1 world. And that's just been our life since. In fact, when I got down there with them, they said, "Well, this is what we're going to do for type 1 diabetes." I'm like, "Well, that's cool. When do we find out if he has it?" And they're like, "Sir, he has
it."
Yeah, his A1C was over 11.
Oh, wow.
And with 5 hours was over 700. That was even 4 hours before Popeyes. So he was close to being really sick.
Well, Anthony, how did you feel at that point? Were you scared, nervous, or just like, I don't know what's going on?
I was nervous, but at the same time, I didn't know what was happening because I had a lot of nurses and doctors around me, and I had 3 IVs in at the same time. I saw all these bags blurry. That's basically all I remember. It was a very foggy and blacked out day.
Okay. So how have things changed for you, with school and since you love sports, since being diagnosed?
With school, it's easier because since I'm going into high school, you can just carry your backpack around. So I can always carry medical supplies and sugar with me in case I have a sudden drop or I need to change a device. And then with sports, it was always just my dad or one of the coaches that I'm with holding my phone. And then just having my medical bag that prepares for anything that I need.
Okay. So do you have do you have to stick your finger or you have one of the CGMs?
I have Yeah, I've Dexcom 6.
Yeah, so
And then,
we're able to follow him wherever he is, right? So that's why I was saying that the coaches have his phone. If I'm not coaching him at that minute, we make sure that whoever's closest to him
mhm.
will have his phone because Bluetooth readings. Then if we lose a reading here or there, it's okay. It happens.
So were you into a lot of sports before being diagnosed?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your
So,
favorite sport?
what's your favorite sport?
lacrosse.
Lacrosse. And
Well,
you said you're recuperating from a surgery. What happened?
I had a dislocation of football, which put me at the 8th grade season. I was 3 weeks into no. I played 9 games in a tournament, basically all back to back. In the ninth game, I dislocated my knee
again,
again, and then in our regular season, 3 weeks into um,
spring season.
sorry, um, our practice, I got my cleat got stuck in a divot, and like my knee just went one way, my leg went the other way, and it just
But he absolutely shredded his MPFL ligament. So they went in, took part of his hamstring off, put it back, and he's taking butt PT. Like there's nothing that stops his schedule. It's absolutely amazing. Like if he would actually understand how much drive he has, you know, he could be president, he could be whatever he wants.
Well, you're a lot stronger than some adults. I know. I can tell you that. Um, so any changes? You said you do kind of go around and you speak to other kids and different things like that. Have you met or came across anyone that kind of was going through the same situation as you do?
uh, so what JDRF or Breakfast UND now? Basically, almost everyone that goes to those events either has type 1, knows someone with type 1, or is a parent sibling of someone with type 1.
Okay.
I mean,
And
So
it's strange too now that he's on these like life changing, amazing devices. Like when we're out in public, we see like, oh my gosh, they have a vaccine. Oh my gosh, they have a pod. Like, let's go talk to them because like we're such a small community, or we think we're a small community. But when you go out there, you're like, oh my god, there are so many people who are affected by this, and they really feel alone. Like becoming diagnosed, you are like caring for almost like a newborn. You're watching
yeah.
over them all the time. You're keeping their sugars, you're making sure they're not going low. You want to assure that if they're going high, that they're getting insulin. So when you do see someone out in the wild, you just want to embrace them and say like, I know what you're going through. Like it's okay to be not okay.
Oh
like
yeah.
we have
So
we have
I'm
never
sorry.
learned to give ourselves grace as much as we have through this disease. Like it's gonna be all right.
Yeah. So one of the questions that popped up was with his blood sugars or his glucose with him working out, do they go low? Do they drop or do they increase, or
um
does that affect when he's working out how his your blood sugars or glucose
so
levels are?
no, I got it. So basically, when I'm working out, it does go low. But with the Omnipod 5, there's something called activity mode, which doesn't fully reduce your insulin, but still keeps a little drip in there. But then also, like, I don't
So that activity mode is great for that. It's kind of funny with athletics. If he's going into a practice or
Mhm.
lacrosse, football, whatever, he'll start dropping and dropping and dropping, right? And you have to get him some sugar to move up. And then like when we first started, and I'd have to pull him out of practice, coaches would get really nervous. I'm like, it's okay. He needs a Gatorade. He'll be back in 20 minutes. And then I bring him back in, and they're like, can he play? I'm like, yeah, he's fine. Like, get back in. But
I
then on
wonder
the
if that affected that any. If he's in a game and they're kind of watching and monitoring
well,
that, will they have to pull him out, or just kind of?
The funny thing is, in games, he doesn't really get low; he gets high. So from adrenaline will spike him like crazy. So we actually have to give him more insulin going into the game, and it'll gradually bring him down. But then right after a game, we got to watch because he's got so much insulin built in him that he might drop real quick. So it's the hormones, and with him being in puberty now too. Oh boy, don't even talk about that.
That and
I
even
was trying to say because I'm like, how will that change as he gets older and then with his growth? I mean, I want to say, can you stand up? Let's actually see how tall you are. Ooh, okay.
he's like
He's-
over 5 feet now.
So he's usually he's been one of the shorter kids traditionally, but
Not sure what you
he's
get.
really he just hit a growth.
He
He
looks
just hit a
pretty
growth spurt
strong
right
though.
now.
He looked pretty strong.
Yeah, no, he's a fire butt.
Phew. So do you foresee us, like as we're going through puberty and getting older and taller, and as things will change, some of the things with his insulin and blood sugars and with the different sports. Do you want to try any other sports besides football and lacrosse?
Not really, because like those are like the two sports that like attract me. But then, um, that's basically it.
So and you're asking about like how hormones and whatnot will affect it.
Yeah.
So he's gotten much better with his hair, and that's actually been a little bit more of a problem because he thinks he knows what he can do, and well, and it's not kind of
This is only the beginning.
Yeah. Oh no, he knows everything else. But as far as like giving yourself medication, you got to be a team. So even like if he's sleeping and we're going to make an adjustment, we talk to each other about it. Just be talking to somebody else. So that's how we ask him if he's at school, whatever. Text us what you're going to do. Let's everyone agree on it,
Okay.
right? And just so that you got more than one pair of eyes looking at it. So I hope that continues. But as he keeps getting older, I know it's going to start going away. And then it'll just be his mom bugging him all the time. Did you get enough to eat? Did you take your insulin?
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. And we had another question. With you being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, how has that affected your mental health or your self-image?
So there was a time where diabetes was like really declining my mental health, but I feel like that's what a lot of people go through it a lot of times because you see yourself much more different than everybody else. But then you also find ways that benefit you from diabetes, like fast passes, Six Flags, or just like other things that can just help you.
Oh,
But that's basically it.
okay. So you didn't kind of stay in that, I don't want to say mentality too long. You guys kind of work together to kind of
Yes.
make sure everybody we're here, I'm here, we all here together.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
we
cool.
do, and the time that Anthony is talking about was really tough for, I mean, I can say for Anthony himself, but like for us, like we see Anthony super outgoing, happy, talking to a lot of people, and then to find out, I think Todd and I think we know our kid, and come to find out Anthony was having these really deep, dark feelings and thoughts that we weren't even aware of until it was brought to our attention, and right away we took action on that and had him get help. So it's not anything to be ashamed of or feel like you can't talk to anybody, because I feel like if he didn't tell us, if we weren't aware, we would definitely be in a different situation than we are right now. Our goal is for him to have like a really positive mindset about the life. So when we ask him, we don't say like, "Are you high? Why are you high? Why are you low?" It's, "What's your number?" Because whatever you tell us your number is, we can either say, "Hey, we need to correct with some sugar," or "We need to correct with some insulin. It's more like judging.
He has type 1. Type 1 ain't got him.
Right.
He's just that
Okay.
like that.
You know what? That should be a slogan. You should probably trademark that. What you just said.
Copyright Hendricks Family
Yes.
2025.
Yes. There was a question that popped up, but I think it's more towards Anthony, or maybe mom and dad. Have you ever mismanaged at all? And if
Um,
you have, why?
Definitely, because I know like sometimes I'll be running around all day, and I'll be like, screw this, I'll put in more insulin just so I crash. Like sometimes it gets like that because I'll be in like 500s, 400s all day, and like my stomach, my head doesn't feel good, so I'll just give myself an insulin. Like
Okay.
I gotta let's stop doing that because if you keep on doing it, there's a point where there's a there will be a point in time where you won't be able to fix it.
Okay. And you guys, between mom and dad, family history of diabetes,
Just type 2.
Just type 2.
And
just type
with
two, no type
type
ones.
with type 1, I mean it's an autoimmune issue. So I mean, Todd and I both have autoimmune issues in our family, but type 1 Anthony's
Well, we both personally have to autoimmune.
autoimmune issues, but no
So,
one with type 1.
Yeah, it's more related to autoimmune than it is, you know.
So, which autoimmune diseases?
Arthritis, lupus, Crohn's.
No, what do you?
Oh, me? No. I'm hypothyroid.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am
Do
all
they
right.
check his levels also, like his thyroid levels, and do they ever
Oh,
check those?
absolutely. He meets with his endocrinologist quarterly
Okay.
to check his labs, so we are very much on top of that. And if during the period of us not meeting with our endocrinologist, we work with them individually, like through my chart. So if we find that Anthony's settings are just not working anymore, we message them. They respond by saying, "Okay, this is what his graph looks like. This is where we need to adjust." So we're in constant contact with them, even outside of the 4 times a year.
Okay. And then with the type 1 and type 2, between the differences, you admit, do you manage those differently? Him being type 1 as versus a type 2 diabetic.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, go ahead.
so I would say, so like a type 2 diabetic, in my mind, is more of a
So type 2 diabetics, they still produce insulin. They just got to a situation where their body isn't accepting it because of diet or other outside factors.
Right.
Their pancreas still works. Anthony's pancreas does not work. So anything he does, we're going to have to balance that way. The beautiful thing with type 2, and I hope this is taken the right way, you can manage it with diet and weight loss, changing the way you do things. My father is 74 years old.
Oh.
He was a horrible type 2 diabetic. Like he like worked his way into having to take insulin. At first it was just pills, and then next thing you know, he had to take shots. And he changed the way he lives. He's down probably 150 pounds since I met my wife.
Jeez.
He eats the right way, and he's not the perfect picture of health, but his diabetes is in pretty good shape now. But for Anthony, until there's a cure, we're always going to have to be aware.
Okay. And with I want to say type 1s, is everybody, or the people that you've met, talked to, is everybody pretty much on insulin pump?
Well, usually you have to wait around 6 to 7 months to even be able to try to get on a pump.
because of insurance.
Yeah, because of insurance and like getting into diabetes. But mostly, yes. But there's also always a lot of new people that do not have it yet.
So in the beginning, did you pretty much have to take shots of insulin?
Right. So the doctors wanted us to learn how to manage without technology, so that way, if God forbid anything happened to his devices, we would still how to care for him. So that's really important for families to know when to carb ratio. What are you doing? Your pre-bolus amount. What am I missing?
Karen's posting about my big head. Yeah, and the other part of knowing how to carb count and do that appropriately is the pump does that for you. But there's times when the pump's wrong.
Yeah.
So,
There's
Anthony, how do you deal with that? Carb counting and keeping the.
Um, a lot of times I just go with the box. Or I'll use like AI to figure it out.
Your
But
kids and AI.
It's
no,
an amazing
it's
app.
amazing.
You take a picture
Okay.
of food and it gives you an idea of like how many
It
carbs.
tells you how
the
many
serving
carbs,
is.
fat, sugars, everything, calories.
That's a lot. That is a lot. Um, so with friends, or if you guys are out and I don't know, pizza tend to have quite a few carbs. How does that work? Or when you guys, if you and friends get together and want to hang out, eat out, how does that work for you?
So there's this thing we do. It's called active insulin, and so around 15 to 20 minutes before any carb intake or sugar intake, we put around 50 to 60 carbs in, depending on where we're going, and that gives me insulin early to like find like a sugary drink, like an appetizer or something. But then once I know what I'm getting after I eat it, then that's when I'll add the extra bolus of carbohydrates.
like we eat pretty clean at home. We had our own weight issues, uh, so we eat pretty high protein, low carb anyway. We tend to follow that. But like this weekend, we went out with some of our really good friends. And he had corn on the cob, cheese fries, and hamburger, and his best friend Kincaid. And he can have all those things. Like you go to a party, he can have whatever he wants. It's just understanding. Essentially, his body's allergic to sugar at the end of the day. So
Mhm.
try not to overdo it. Like, just make it a treat. Uh, but you know,
Well, I
what,
give you
what,
props because you do way better than I do. I'm trying to do this keto thing, and today was my first day, and I feel like I'm about to die. So
So
I applaud you for how you're handling everything
give it
and doing what
like
you're
2 weeks,
doing.
then you'll be all right.
Hmm?
yeah.
I said, give it 2 weeks, you'll be all right. It's that first 5 days that are rough.
I know I'm trying to make. If I can make it through this week, I think I might be okay. Um,
So with school coming up, it's super important for not only Anthony to be aware of like who his nurse is and for like all of his teachers to have his 504. So 504 plan is, a document that we put together with our endocrinologist and with the help of our school district, Anthony's plan. So if Anthony is running a certain blood sugar level, this is what they need to do. If he's running low, then this is what needs to happen. And so going into school, everybody who is taking care of Anthony is aware of
mhm.
what needs to happen at any situation. Additionally, we have extra supplies at school. So he
Okay.
has extra Dexcoms, he has extra syringes of insulin, he has alcohol pills, applesauce for when he's low. So um, he's everything on hand at school for any situation.
Okay. Is there ever any issue? Because I know here, um, with the schools and with the school nurse, it's always when you do the physical, you have to list every medication, anything that's needed. It used to be, well, where I'm from, you can keep those type things with you. But now a lot of stuff has to be given to the nurses. And if there's an issue, then they have you go to the nurse and have them give you this and take care of that. Is that ever an issue if you're having a low or a high?
It's never really an issue because based off of my 504, I'm allowed to keep sugar and medical supplies or close in my range. So a lot of the teachers will always carry candy or something like that in case I go low. Or like in my locker, my backpack, I have like a Gatorade and applesauce and extra medical supplies if like the nurse is available. So I'll change it myself.
In
And
addition to the supplies, it's his phone. He needs to have his phone with him at all times. So he is connected to school Wi-Fi. All of his apps are shut down during school hours,
Okay.
but that just allows us to continue to follow him during school.
we've
So do
been
you go ahead?
extremely lucky because he got diagnosed in elementary school, now middle school, going to high school. He's had two of the best nurses, and we already know the ones in high school. They're amazing. They communicate with us. They understand that we're involved parents, but we're not helicopter parents, right? And they develop a relationship with him. He knows how to advocate for himself.
Perfect.
So every once in a while, there'll be a substitute teacher like, "You can't have your phone," and he's like, and they'll just text. He's like, "Dad, substitute teacher." And I'll just call the nurse. He's like, "Hey, can you just let this teacher know?" And they take care of it. It's really
Okay.
good.
So you're going to be a freshman, right?
Mhm.
So you already met the nurse. What about the teachers? Are you kind of nervous about that going into high school?
Yes, but we have not met. I've not met teachers yet.
Are you nervous
Uh,
about me or about how they will?
no, not really.
Okay. Um, Going into high school, are you going with the majority of your friends, or is everybody kind of being broken up and starting out kind of new, kind of fresh? How do you feel about that?
Well, I basically already know the whole high school in and out.
He knows them from
True.
freshman to senior. He got him. He knows them all.
So
He won't
that's
need to take
perfect.
it once to school.
So that means so everybody knows what's going on. So hopefully, there's no issues with being able to manage everything with school, and him having his phone. Because I think here in Iowa, my son he'll be a junior this year. They're kind of cracking down on the cell phones and a lot of other stuff. So
Yeah. But maybe it's important for parents to really advocate for their kids and to have that 504 because that really does help with test taking. If he's missing, if he's in the nurse's office for an extended period of time, that really just keeps things in line for him. And when he's in college too, we'll have one as well.
okay. So I got a question in here. Or what's your greatest lesson or most important lesson learned since being type 1 diabetic?
Yeah,
In
what's
my
your
opinion, it's active insulin because that's really a game changer. Um, there's a really big difference in no pre bolus and 15 minutes of a pre bolus because of insulin already going inside your body and working, and insulin is not even already being in your body.
I think for me, it's understanding that nothing's going to go the way that you want it to with type 1 in life, right? So I referenced it earlier. We've allowed each other to have grace and know that it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to be in it together, and it's going to be okay in the end.
And for me, I think the greatest lesson is really to like speak up and to share because there are others that are going through what you're going through, and it's important for us not to feel alone.
Oh yeah. I would think it would be really cool as he grows through these stages to kind of check back in and see how he's doing. At 14, are you thinking about getting your permit and getting ready to drive and all that fun stuff?
I am definitely going to get my permit. Um, but it's also depending on what my A1C is because that also is a very heavy mark to get a permit or even a license
Hmm.
is your A1C
And you're great.
and your grade suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And Anthony, has he only had Dexcom or has he tried any others?
I've had Libre, it's not Libre, but I definitely like Dexcom a lot.
We are exploring a couple of different pumps right now.
Okay.
There's a lot. Omnipod's amazing because it's always on,
Mhm.
but the algorithm isn't very aggressive. So as he gets out of puberty, we've tried to tighten up his numbers a little bit. Um, that's something that's a possibility.
Okay. So the freestyle and the Dexcom. Why do you prefer Dexcom over Libre?
Because it's a constant reading every 5 minutes instead of swiping your phone over a sensor.
Okay. How long do you have to have the Dexcom? Are they both 14 days?
One is 10 days, one is 15 days.
Okay. And then when you get to looking at different pumps, what other pumps are you looking into?
T Slim,
Or a Medtronic.
Metron, T Slim, Medtronic, and yeah, I think that's
Um, this might be a weird question, but do you carry or have like an alert, like some of the diabetic alerts in case, like as he gets older and driving and things like that, and he's on his own, um, the
So
different
we don't have
medical
one yet, but I definitely, when he does drive, will have some sort of indication somewhere that he's a type 1 for sure.
So they probably one on a seatbelt, probably one on the window, and
On his
a
forehead.
wrist.
I'm just kidding.
perfect, that would definitely work. Okay, so where exactly are you guys located?
Huntley, Illinois.
Yeah, we're in Huntley. It's about 40 miles north of Chicago, so not far from the Wisconsin border.
Okay. So you said it's like is it a big community or?
It's funny. It's a small town community, like 35,000 people. But it's got one of the biggest school districts because it encompasses more. But like his high school has 4,800 kids.
Jeez, and it's just one high school?
Yes, ma'am.
One high school.
My goodness. Okay, that's a lot. Well, good luck. And
Yeah.
everybody else that's listening, if you have questions for them, definitely put those out there.
Before,
Tell us a little bit more. Give us more
Oh,
information on Anthony's shirt.
um, this is T1D, which we've also been talking about, which I also earned an award for this year for being their top ambassador in Illinois.
Nice.
But then there's also walks that go on. There's one going on the September 21st down in the suburbs at the College of DuPage. And then there's one on October 12th and uh,
East Peoria.
East Peoria Riverfront, which has like a really nice view of the lake.
no, that's done.
And then September 28th,
And
we're
then,
at Montrose Harbor.
yeah,
And then the biggest fundraiser of the year, and Anthony shows out every year. Breakthrough Illinois raises millions and millions. They're literally the biggest fundraiser in whole U.S. for Breakthrough is their gala. So they come together, silent auction. There's always like cool performers, and Anthony goes around and helps everyone get their bids up at the silent auction. He does a great job.
That's nice.
And that's what December
13th.
December 13th.
Okay.
So if you
Is
if
it
you
gonna be?
guys,
It's gonna be cold.
no, it's inside McCormick Place.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and
Oh,
that's
look at
Anthony.
that! Isn't that a cute picture?
That's Anthony
Yeah,
at
so
the
we're
at the
in
walk
part
last
of
year.
Anthony's army.
Almost a different kid there. And Anthony's army, and then I see Dad has Anthony's support. Is that squad?
Yes, well, we celebrate his diversity. So when every January 17th we throw him a party because he was diagnosed on January 17th, and we want to celebrate every day that he's beat this.
Okay. And your award, Anthony, someone wants to know what else did you do to obtain that lovely award of yours?
um, top top fundraiser. Just being nice to the community, being like a role model for like younger kids. Volunteering at like some of the bigger events like the gala. Always being like someone you can contact for help. Yeah.
So Anthony doesn't say no when it comes to volunteering. Actually, I should say the Hendricks family doesn't say no when it comes to volunteering. We get
That's
home,
amazing.
we get asked to help a lot. So I mean, it's been a great
Well, you know what?
experience
That
for all of
silent auction, if you put that online, if there's some nice stuff, I'd love to, do a couple of bids. You can Zoom that. I
Well,
haven't been to one in a long time, but the last one I went to, I was so close to getting what I wanted. So
they always get you at that last second.
they do. And then I always try to go back and try to. So think about that. Zoom.
It's all digital now. You don't even sign anymore. It's an app.
Oh, see? Well,
Yeah.
I don't think we've gotten quite that close to some of the ones I've been to yet. Well, definitely, everybody, if you guys want to let people know anything else, Anthony, mom, dad.
I would just say, follow my wife. Follow my wife on Facebook. The walk is coming up. It's a huge fundraiser. It's something that we're very proud to be successful in, but we weren't number one. And with your help, maybe we'll get there. To be a
Yeah,
top
and how are we
fundraiser.
going to follow mom? Because I will definitely take a look at that fundraiser.
Wonderful.
Okay, and how can we find mom on
So
Facebook?
it's just Krystyna Hendricks on Facebook.
So KRYSTYNA and HENDRICKS, just like on the screen.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think we are going to wrap it up, everybody. Definitely take a look at that. Look at the fundraiser. Let's get them to number 1 this year. Okay, everybody, that's the goal.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
All right.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Oh, sorry.
I think we might